Hello friends, today we're going to talk about how attitude affects sales performance. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like your attitude held you back? Most of us have at one time or another. By the end of this video, I will break down how attitude affects sales performance and give you some mindset hacks that will actually help your attitude from the get-go. Think about the people in your life who you've loved to be around. Usually those people who build others around them and they have a positive attitude regardless of what's happening in their life are the type of people we always want to be around. Even though some of them might naturally be that way, I would venture to guess that a lot of them have trained their minds and their attitudes to be positive regardless of what's happening around them. And today I want to show you how to do the exact same thing by first understanding why a positive attitude is so important. Second, we'll dive into how attitude affects sales performance. And finally, how to adopt a positive attitude that will take your sales to the next level. If you're ready, let's go. So why is a positive attitude so important? Well, I think number one, it opens doors. Number one, a positive attitude is infectious. If you're the type who is positive most of the time, people are attracted to that. I mean, think about it in your own life. If you're always around that person who is everything sucks, this is bad, that's bad, usually we try to avoid those people. But if somebody makes you feel better just by being their present because they're energetic and positive, that's the type of person that usually doors are opening for. I remember one of my favorite TED Talks ever was a TED Talk by Sean Aker called The Happiness Advantage. And he had studied happiness as it related to individuals, and he studied it at Harvard. Harvard paid him money to analyze and identify and understand the concept of happiness. His conclusion was that people weren't happy just because they had hit some benchmark or because they were successful or by doing this would show success or therefore they're going to be happy, because it seemed like the goalpost was always moving, right? The end zone was always being moved farther back. I want to get into a good school, we'll get in a better school. I want to get good grades, we'll get better grades. I want to get a high paying job, we'll get a higher paying job. So every time you thought you reached the benchmark where you'd be happy, guess what? That changed. But he found out that usually people are successful that are happy. They enjoy the journey. They find joy in the journey. And because of that, because of their positive attitude, they are already successful, and success follows them and comes to them rather than the other way around, where if you accomplish something or reach something, you'll then be happy. It's a fallacy where happiness is hardly ever reached by doing it that way. So what type of impact can a negative attitude have on us? Well, number one, misery loves company. If you're the type of person that out there that is always negative, or you find yourself in negative company, you are going to be dragged down. We are the sum of the 5 people we hang around the most. So if the people you hang around are constantly negative and saying negative things and dragging people down, guess what? You're going to conform to that. You're going to fall into that category. You know, I had an individual come to me not too long ago, and they're having some challenges in their life, and everything out of their mouth was something that was vitally negative. You know, this was going bad in their life. This was going bad. This didn't happen because of something outside their influence that was negative. All these things were negative. And in a tactful way, I said to him, you are looking at things in a very toxic way. It's almost like you're dragging a plow. Imagine trying to go through life by having something behind you that's digging into the ground and holding you back. That is never a fun way to go about things. And it kind of snapped for him. A lot of times, the way we think about things, what we process in our mind, whether it be positive or negative, is going to determine our outcome. So having a negative impact is something that will always hold you back. So how does attitude affect sales performance? Sales is definitely a confidence and a mindset game. Especially if you're doing sales over the phone, they cannot see you, they don't know your cues, so energy and positivity really push through when you're on the phone. And those that have a positive, energetic attitude usually instill confidence in others, and typically your charisma shows through. And a negative attitude over the phone or in person is definitely going to be sensed by the person that you're talking to, and if they sense that, typically they don't want to be in the presence of that, or they want to get off the phone as quickly as they can. And think about your own experience. If you've been in a situation where you're going to buy something and the person is negative or sour or down, do you really want to buy that product or service that person is offering? Probably not, and I don't either. You know, I remember kind of a funny story early on in my career when I was doing door-to-door sales. It was the first year I'd ever done sales like this, and I was going door-to-door selling pest control. And we had this gentleman on our team that I'll call Wade. Great guy, funny guy. And I remember him coming home one day, he came home early, and I'm like, Wade, how was your day today? And he had said, you know what, I was knocking on the door, hadn't had any luck, you know, this and that, kind of some negative things. He says, I was knocking on the door, and this one lady was talking to me, and she's like, you know what, it doesn't look like you want to be here. Like, nah, I probably don't. You'd rather be out on the beach or doing something nice. Yeah, I would. You know, it'd be better if you're just home kind of relaxing. Yeah, I would. He said, well, goodbye, and close the door on him. And he thought it was kind of funny, but it's true, right? I mean, if we come across as being negative, or we're not engaged, we're not in the conversation with the people we're talking to, then chances are they don't want to be either. I would honestly say that attitude is half the battle when it comes to sales. So if attitude is half the battle, isn't it that much more important that we get it right? And trust me, I know there are times where you feel like you don't want to be positive, or things have happened in your life that maybe at the time that you're maybe drained or tired, or it's hard to put on that happy face. But I promise you, as a sales professional, if you can learn how to make that switch, to turn that switch on when you need to be positive, it's going to be your best friend and vital to your success. So how do you train your mind to be positive? I guess if that's the overarching idea of being positive almost all the time that you're presenting, how do you do that? Well, number one, you got to think of it like a muscle. If we are training ourselves to be positive, we've got to think in those tones. I'm my most positive self, my most energetic self, and especially in certain situations. If you're talking to somebody and you sound like this kind of monotone, people don't want to be around you. At the same time, you don't want to be so over positive. You're talking really fast, people don't even do, they can't even understand what you're saying. You've just got to have that energy. Be your normal person, be who you are, but be it in your most positive, energetic self. And by doing so, people will be attracted to that, and you'll be able to train yourself just like any other muscle in your body. By doing it time and time again, it's going to be more reflective when you need to turn that on or turn it off. You know, there's a really cool story I like of a gentleman who's doing an experiment, and he had cups of water, and he had these people with these cups of water that were just sitting in plastic cups where people would talk very negative towards these cups of water, and then he'd freeze that water, right? And then he had people talk very positive to these cups of water. I know it sounds strange, but after he froze both cups of water, the negative talk and the positive talk, and he pulled them out so you could see kind of the structure of the ice within it. The structure of the ice within those that talk positive was beautiful, it was symmetrical, and the frozen structure of the ice when people talk negative was kind of ugly and definitely not symmetrical. But it's interesting how just by speaking differently to cups of water that are built up of certain atoms could have a different structure than the ones that were spoken to positively. And if that's any case for water, imagine what that does to us as humans. So what are some other things you could do? I think another thing that will really help attitude is practicing gratitude. When you practice gratitude and appreciation, that is a higher plane of energy that you're operating from. One thing we did in our organization, we did a company-wide thing where for 21 days, we're going to write down 3 things we're grateful for in the morning. We're going to talk about ways we can improve the next day. And we're going to compliment somebody on something every single day. So we're totally changing the output in our mind to gratitude and appreciation. And in doing so, over consistently every single day for 21 days, it's supposed to have a very positive impact on you moving forward. It's supposed to implement habits that otherwise maybe can't be done. But for 21 days consistently doing that, we saw a lot of positive growth in our organization. And I think by doing that, you understand that there's vibrational energy. Tesla said everything is energy and everything is vibration. So if we're looking at it in that sense, if we're kicking out a positive vibe, a positive vibration and energy to those around us, we've got to be thinking in those terms. And what are high vibrational thoughts? Well, it's gratitude, it's appreciation. What are low vibrational thoughts? Well, it's shame, it's guilt, it's anger, it's frustration. Those are things that bring down our vibrational energy. So to be positive, naturally raising our vibrational energy is going to make us more positive naturally. And the last thing I think as far as training your mind is visualization. Visualization is so powerful. Maybe going back to a time where you saw absolute success or a great moment in your life and you can visualize that, or visualize some point in the future and speak about that in the present tense. That's also going to be highly powerful to help you visualize success and help you be more positive. So what effect does this positive attitude have on you, not only just in sales, but in your life? Well, I really love the quote, "A high tide raises all ships." And if you're the person out there that's the high tide, you're going to raise everybody around you, especially within a sales organization. If you're the one who's leading the way with positivity, energy, and excitement, chances are you're going to see success in the sales side and you're raising all those around you. Now, these are some things that we've seen work really well in our organization, some practices we've put in place to help raise positivity within the organization and how it has a positive effect on all of our sales performance. But I'd be interested in what you've done or what your thoughts are. Please comment below. Let's engage in a conversation. And as always, just for stopping by and watching the video, I've got a free gift for you. Just click on the link below, aaronssalestraining.com. It's our sales and persuasion course. It's a 10-module course that we normally sell for $100, and it's absolutely free for you. No obligation. Just click on the link below. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.